Hey traders, it's Rod with Powell Group. Today is Tuesday, September 1st. It's the beginning of a new month. Today's lunch update, we're going to discuss Tesla's news, which came out this morning, which was a $5 billion stock offering. So before we jump into the coverage, make sure to smash like if you enjoyed the video and consider subscribing and tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future updates. So before we jump into some technical analysis, today was one of those days where you wake up and you're expecting some sort of news, right? It's hard to derail these bulls at the moment. They have full momentum, SPYs at all-time highs, QQQs at all-time highs. So what I woke up today was this news for Tesla offering $5 billion in stock, and this shouldn't come as a surprise. These are perfect situations for CEOs and companies to release these types of dilution news, and when they see incredible momentum in the stock, this is when you typically see these types of articles released. So these are always things you have to be weary of. You always have to be on the lookout. And yesterday when I woke up, I saw that Apple and Tesla were very strong pre-market. There wasn't any huge market moving news in terms of geopolitical or economic news. But today was different, right? So we woke up and we saw that Tesla's offering $5 billion. For me, it's going to be a telltale sign because we're starting to see momentum shift. SPY's due for some daily consolidation. Tesla's due for some consolidation in a big way. And pretty much everything in the market right now is overextended. You can see for Tesla, they ran it after hours, and into pre-market, we started to pull back. So it's almost as if potentially somebody knew this news was coming, and they ran it up in after hours and then sold it off into pre-market. And we started the day with a 5-minute downtrend. We formed a 5-minute higher low and higher high. We confirmed a 5-minute uptrend, but now we're back into a 5-minute downtrend since we formed this lower high and lower low. Didn't really get much follow through, so we're still keeping an eye on this pattern and this trend. But at this point, bears are definitely in short-term control. And zooming out to the hourly, you can see here that we're still in an hourly uptrend. So we're just looking for an hourly higher low. And once we can change the 5-minute trend, we can be confident that our hourly higher low is set. But essentially, we just haven't seen any meaningful consolidation on the daily from all the way back here at the low of 385.50. So anything above that will give us a daily higher low. So bulls still in full control long term, but not surprising to see Tesla pulling back a little bit here. SPY, we had a similar open to the day, so we changed the 5-minute trend, and now we just changed the 5-minute trend bearish. So you can see we set a 5-minute lower high and lower low again, not much follow through. So hasn't really been a meaningful day for the bears as of yet. QQQ set all-time highs into this morning, but again, story of the day, we're setting 5-minute downtrends and just looking for hourly higher lows on this consolidation. And daily consolidation likely isn't that far away, but we haven't formed any higher low. So when we do pull back, bulls have lots of room to form a higher low compared to 274.86. So again, long-term tech bulls in full control. We're seeing some consolidation in the healthcare sector today. So we broke the low of yesterday. We're currently at the low of the day. We saw some rotation into XBI and XLV yesterday. So the tables have turned on that front, and we're seeing XBI, the biotech sector as well, just barely broke the low of yesterday, not by much, and currently floating around the low of the day. Taking a look at Apple lead tech bull. So continues to hold the market up. You can see we started the day right near the high of pre-market. We tested the high of the day here. We are still in a 5-minute uptrend. We saw Bitcoin broke out overnight and in a very clear 5-minute uptrend as well. We saw the Ethereum bulls just explode, and we set new highs on the year. So you can see that Ethereum in a daily uptrend, weekly uptrend, all things looking good for the bulls in terms of Ethereum. And we are getting a little overextended here on the weekly. The monthly has yet to form a monthly higher low, But you can see here we are potentially setting up for an EMA bull cross on Ethereum, which is the cross of the 12 and 26 exponential moving average. So that's typically a bullish sign, and they're curling. Everything's pointing to more gains for the Ethereum bulls. We don't have any meaningful resistance here until the 840 level. So bulls could continue to run this even higher. I would be surprised to see anything derail these bulls at the moment. Obviously, the dollar has been extremely weak, and that's providing fuel to the fire for pretty much anything in crypto, the metals, the miners, and equities. So until we see the dollar start to bounce, and we were forming an inverse head and shoulders, which I've covered before, but since we broke the low of 92.13, that has been negated. Not completely over yet for the bulls. We know we're due for a bounce, and unless we see some meaningful follow through, we'll just keep an eye out for some falling wedges, and we'll look for a bounce at some point. When will that be? We're not sure, but we're going to keep an eye on the hourly. Bulls saw a huge bounce here from the low of 91.75. So we could be forming, you can see that the hourly EMAs are starting to curl, potentially could see a bull cross here, but bulls have lots of room to form an hourly higher low and higher high. Once we change the hourly trend, then we can be confident that the daily bounce is likely underway, and we'll zoom out to the weekly and look for a weekly potential bounce. Again, the dollar is struggling, and until we see some strength in the dollar, we can expect equities, crypto, and metals to continue to push higher. And honestly, we have 10 weeks until the election. So personally, I don't think there's going to be any meaningful pullback between now and the election. I think that what we could be looking at on SPY, which I've highlighted before, and again, I feel a lot more comfortable if we would have formed a monthly higher low and higher high. So it would have looked something like this. So maybe we came back here, we touched the EMAs, formed a base of support, and then we hit a higher high and we tested all-time highs. Since we didn't do that, what we can probably expect would be something along the lines of a more tightening range and equilibrium into the end of the year. I highly doubt these bulls are just continue to blast off into space. It's very highly unrealistic and not the most probable scenario in my opinion. So what I would expect is to see, and we're starting to see momentum shifts. So Apple's still very strong, but Tesla, you can see we had that news today. So we're starting to see a little bit of the scales tipping there. But what I would like to see is potentially SPY come back, test the EMA support, potentially set a lower high and a lower low. If that were to happen, we would change the monthly trend bearish, and I would look to potentially enter. So if you don't already have a shopping list, I would strongly encourage that you do. If you're not already in bullish positions, if you're on the sidelines, maybe you're in cash, maybe you're accumulating a short position like I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to buy the dip as soon as we have a monthly higher low, and then I'll potentially eye a lower high and then a lower low and look for a potential monthly downtrend, because we've been in an uptrend now since 2008. We're not in a monthly uptrend right now since we haven't formed we lost the monthly uptrend when we lost this higher low here. And so we lost the uptrend. Now we're just looking to find direction now. So if we set a monthly higher low and higher high, then we'll have a monthly uptrend. But at this point, we are still just moving flat, and bulls obviously in full control. But what I would like to see, I was looking at some Elliott wave forecast, and the Elliott wave forecast is basically predicting a move to 360, which it's been predicting for several years. So I would look to potentially top out around 360 level, and you never know, we could potentially form a megaphone pattern, which we have been, and maybe we start to test the 200 level over time. Nothing goes up forever, and again, I could be wrong, but this is definitely what I'm looking out for. We are overextended on pretty much every time frame, and I am going to be looking to buy the dip, look for a potential back test here on the EMAs, and like I said, scout a lower high and look to form a potential equilibrium. So we'll have to keep an eye on Tesla, Apple, taking a look at SPY here. So we're still chopping around, still in a 5-minute downtrend, and it's very clear. So we did have quite a bit of bull volume here a couple of candles ago, but momentum still with the bears. We'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are looking at. If you got a shopping list, let me know what names you're potentially eyeing and what your game plan is going forward. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future updates. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Good luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.